Hi team, welcome to If Innovation Could Talk.
Hi, hey Eva. Thanks for having me here today. I'm really flattered to be invited to be involved.
Absolute pleasure. Now team, tell me, what is your first memory or first exposure to innovation?
Right. So my earliest memory of innovation really began when I was given a bicycle when I was about 9 or 10 years old. This was the early 80s, right? And we weren't affluent by any means. We certainly got by for sure, but it was also the time that I learned what frugality meant. So the thing about these bikes, the chopper bikes, was the PVC seat, right? I mean, they weren't exactly built to Singapore's standard for a tropical climate, right? So these things will fall apart, and whenever a crack appeared, there goes a sliver of duct tape. So if I remember, all it took was about a year before, where there was once a seat was a mummified seat, really. Um, but I certainly felt like quite the innovator there. Where innovation comes in was I was always tinkering with the bike, trying to make it go faster, smoother, further. And that's the thing with innovation, that insatiable need to keep making things do what they do better in some way or other.
My mother seems to, and I mean this in an endearing way, my mother seems to think that everything can be fixed with duct tape.
Oh yes, totally, man. I assure you, and it's been like what 30 years on. Yeah, duct tape is king. Yeah,
It
yeah,
still
yeah.
works. It still works.
Yeah, go invest in 3M shares. Yeah.
That's right. Now, on a more serious note, what does innovation then mean to you?
Everyone views the concept of innovation differently. So if you were to put this question to an engineer, he would probably see innovation as an outcome. If you asked a business manager, obviously his priorities would be profit and loss. So innovation could be an outcome where the product or service is offered for significantly lesser costs, but without sacrificing the user experience functionality. In my mind, innovation actually makes sense only if it addresses not just the real problems efficiently and effectively, but also brings about a tangible increase in benefit to the target demographic. So I think a great way to illustrate what innovation really means to me, at least, is the tale of the three little pigs. Yeah, we all know how the story worked out, but given a selection of three materials, straw, sticks, and bricks, to build a house that would protect our little piggy friends from the big bad wolf. We know that the house that fared the best was a brick house, but I've always wondered whether we could do better with the stick house. What if piggy number 2 and piggy number 3 had come together to build a better design? Instead of the brick house, which to me seemed like design overkill if you know that the big bad wolf is only going to come like once, right? So to me, overly complex designs can be perfect and flawless, but they often require feats of innovation, design, engineering, and importantly, cost.
Now, I was just going to say, parents out there, when you are reading the Three Little Piggies to your kids next time, remember you can actually put an innovation spin and get them to think about what innovation means. Now, also because you are based in Singapore, Tim, tell us about what are some of the Singaporean innovations that have impressed or inspired you?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Eva. And I've always been a firm believer that innovation can happen anywhere, and by anyone, and not just by a select few, right? So in Singapore, I would say notable examples include creative technology, and their invention of the Cubic 99, the world's first talking computer. And this predates the whole Sound Blaster design and development, right? So obviously with creatives involvement, we now have music, videos, and all that coming off our computers and devices. Another company that comes to mind is Track 2000, without whom we wouldn't even be holding chunks of data in a little thumb drive in our hands. I mean, guys like that, they've made the impossible possible. Other lesser known examples but equally impressive include the design and development of the Marina Bay Sands building with its cantilevered sky platform. I mean, if anyone ever had a thought about it, how do you even get that whole platform on, to where it is today? I think it's simply amazing. Yeah.
What I also wanted to add about that is there's actually Australian engineering involved in that project. So it's actually great to see innovation that involves international collaboration. Thank you. That was fascinating. Enjoyed the stories and enjoyed you sharing examples with us. And all the best going forward.
All right. Thanks a lot, Eva, and I really appreciate this time again. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.